My name is S.J. Tucker, and I am on the verge of releasing a brand new album of original songs called Wonders.
Who casts no shadow, with a bright sword at her side, in a ship of her own making, she'll leave upon the tide, through stormy seas and shark fins.
The digital release of Wonders goes live on October 1st at exactly midnight, so we're saying it goes live at the stroke of October. Wonders has been in production for a long, long time. I've been working on some of these songs since the middle of 2011, and I've been writing them since well before that.
Through wonders cast by witches comes September morning bell. Through wonders cast by witches comes September morning bell. My true name's...
Potentially this could have been a very stressful project for me, because this was the first time that I decided that I was going to be the engineer and the producer from start to finish, and still learning how to mix and work with audio, and I'm probably going to be learning for the rest of my life. It's very rewarding. I think you have to be a special kind of crazy to want to do it with your very own stuff.
By pink and yellow teacups.
Pink, yellow teacups. Nah!
The rough part is doing mix after mix after mix, and take after take after take, and to be the person at the helm from start to finish, and the person who's in front of the microphone from start to finish, was entirely new for me. Sometimes I have to stand here and wait for the helicopter traffic to go over. It's been incredible to have my own studio for the first time, and to start and finish working on a project that's dear to my heart in what is really a year-round summer camp paradise.
Yeah!
The songs that made it onto the album are all about characters in Cat Valenti's Fairyland novels, and we're talking about Wizard of Oz with a whole lot of attitude here, but a heroine who's no slouch. If I had to pick any one character that I want to be from the songs and the album and the book, I would pick a lady named Calpurnia Farthing. She's a fairy, and she's the character who inspired the Great Velocipede Migration, which is the only instrumental on the album. And so I wrote what I hope is the score for a stampede of wild high-wheel bicycles, led by Calpurnia Farthing, riding her very own at the front. That's me wanting to be Calpurnia in the cover art that Chaz did for the album. Ask Me Anything, which is the sidekick anthem, or at least I hope it will become the sidekick anthem, is for the wyvern A through L, who believes that his father was a library and is certain that you can read stories on his wings. My most recent release, Ember Days, was primarily electronic and very dark, very goth industrial influenced. And I've told people that I'm sort of getting back to the light and happy zone with Wonders, but there's some pretty creepy stuff on this project too. The Glashtan Shanty in particular, which I adore.
Down to the river below, hero Glashtan go, tug the ferry to and fro, hero Glashtan go, down in the river below.
Not the Villain was written for the villain of the Fairyland books, or at least the villain of the first Fairyland book. Another young lady known as the Marquis, and I'll try not to spoiler you too badly here, for those of you who haven't read the book. The Marquis is a tough nut to crack. She is convinced that she is in the right, as so many villainesses often are, as so many of us are when we don't realize that, oh hey, we didn't check to see if what we think is best for everybody is what everybody wants. And she finds herself in this situation where she's asserting that she is not the bad guy, and while everybody else is going, oh, here you are. My favorite line in that song, and the one that I'm proudest of, is, every witch was someone's princess in some other once upon a time. And that's very much the Marquis in a nutshell. September Morning Bell is my fantastical take on, I don't know, maybe a bunch of memos that went back and forth between the Marquis and some other denizens of fairyland that September runs into. Like maybe this whole thing is a little bit more planned than people let on.
So return September morning bell. The seasons burn, and so returns September morning bell.
They're strange denizens of the little islands that are out in the perverse and perilous sea that September has to cross in order to rescue some of her friends at the climax of the book. Which brings us neatly to Sailing Song, which is something that I wrote inspired by September's first night at sea, when she has taken her little raft and tied her dress to the mast to make a sail, and she's never been out on the open water before, and she finds herself completely in love with it. And she feels very capable and very brave. September's Rhyme is the first song on the album. It's also the first song on Wonders that got written. I was sitting in the doctor's office, and this little rhyming song, just a couple of minutes long, to help you remember all of the crazy things that you need to do in order to be able to get into fairyland, just kind of fell into my lap. Which is exactly what happened the first time that I wrote a song about any of Catherine's works. So it's very much in keeping with the little traditions that we have started now. The reason that I decided to do a separate digital release and a separate physical release of Wonders is because primarily we live in the future now, and so I have the freedom to do that. I don't have to make everybody wait until the actual CD is printed. If I have all the songs finished, I can upload them to my Bandcamp profile and create the album there, which is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this week. And then it's available as soon as I say go. And you couldn't do that not so very long ago. You couldn't do that. You certainly couldn't do that when I started out with my career almost 10 years ago. And I love having the freedom of getting to share this stuff with everybody before I've actually been able to hold the CD in my hands. And there's a lot more. There's a lot more that I haven't had time to talk about here on the album, so please check it out. You'll be able to listen for free, just like with everything else that I have, thanks to Bandcamp. And the album will be up at music.sjtucker.com on the stroke of midnight, the stroke of October, and the physical CD will be ready later in the month. And I wish you all the best in finding wonders of your own and getting your creativity and your heart out into the world in a way that makes you happy.